welcome into the latest edition of the Second Half Draft Show. I'm your host, Juice, joined by Drew. Bit of a hiatus for the Second Half Draft Show. I had to recharge the batteries, but as we draw nearer, closer to draft season, obviously the content will pick up. I've been promising that for several weeks now, so now's the time. Full steam ahead on the Second Half Draft Show as it relates to the 2026 NFL Draft. And as the title suggests, our hiatus is effectively over, and it's time to take a look at our 2026 NFL Draft ranking. So, Drew, myself, obviously, we watch football on a weekly basis, almost damn near the daily basis. But as far as updating our mock draft simulator and the corresponding rankings, the consensus rankings as far as the Second Half Draft Show is concerned, we just haven't done it in quite some time, and that is reflective in our current ranking. So we're gonna look to adjust the top 50. We'll see if we get through all 50. Might be closer to the first 30 to 32, but we're gonna make an attempt. We're gonna make an attempt to get through a healthy number of prospects here and right size the rankings. Of course, this won't be the last time this happens, and we expect this to happen more frequently from here on out. But certainly time for a significant update. We have a lot more information at this point. What's going on, Mr. C? I want to thank everybody else for tuning in. Drew, it's been a minute.
Yeah,
a lot to cover, a lot to talk about. As we work through this process of updating our rankings, I have a series of questions for you as well. And certainly I will want to pose them to our audience. They are free to weigh in. Check us out on X or YouTube, Facebook, wherever you can find us. Chime in. But I gotta know, Drew. How you feeling about your hire? How you feeling about your hire for the Gators?
Bro, you never know. I really wanted Lane, but there was always a little part of me that was like, I don't trust this guy, bro. Right? Because he's done some things. I forgot, bro. They had put a clip together. Somebody put a clip together. Maybe a couple people put a clip together of like how he's just left programs, bro.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And I forgot Nick Saban told him to get the fuck out, bro. Like, go. I think it was when he was headed to the league, and he just told him, "Hey, man, just was it that time?" When he left for the league?
I feel like Lane left for the league
or was it
really early in his career,
really
prior to the Saban stint. I think Saban.
Okay.
I think that Alabama stint actually kind of rehabilitated his reputation. I'm not saying that it ended great, right, as you're suggesting, but I think he got an opportunity in the league way too soon, well before he actually deserved it. To be frank,
yeah, I agree.
He's been around for a long time now. I think because the years go by so fast, I think you kind of lose that perspective. But Lane has been in the collegiate and had a brief spot in the NFL, in the coaching ranks for an extended period of time now. So to your point, he's got a reputation. Yeah, Lane has a reputation.
Strange guy too, bro. Strange guy, strange ass. He's a funny guy though too. He's comical.
He is funny.
You know what I mean?
He is funny.
He's a little bit of a if you take a dig, bro, he's coming to get you back, bro. Like he's not gonna. He doesn't forget. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
yeah.
But I kind of working through it. I just wonder. I seen a little skit from a guy. I got to find the clip, but it was pretty funny. And he was like, basically the skit was saying maybe he was kind of waiting for Alabama lose to Auburn, and then, hey man, maybe DeBoer is out and Lane is in. Maybe that's what he was kind of doing, playing that game between LSU, Florida, and Ole Miss. I don't know. Obviously, he ended up with LSU, but in terms of the hire that we got, I like him. They were talking about he was Billy Napier 2.0, but when you look at the resume, you know what I'm saying? Billy got fired from Clemson, running the offense, bro. Like and he got fired from Florida for running the offense, bro. And I think Billy is a really good coach. I think he could be a really good. I think he's an outstanding recruiter, and I think he could be a really good head coach. but he's stubborn. He won't let the offensive guys run the offense. He won't get a guy that can run the offense. I think this guy that we do have understands. I gotta let the OC do their thing. I gotta let DC do their thing, and I'm gonna be the head coach, right?
Yeah.
I think he has a plan, is what it appears to be. I think Florida's, if I'm not mistaken, they have the highest. I think they're paying the highest in the SEC in terms of a staff, just in general, right?
Okay.
And so, I love to hire, bro. And the DC part of it's not. I'm not really concerned the defense, but the offense is always my concern. Get a guy who can develop. They went and got your boy. Is it Buster Faulkner? I think it's how you say it, Bus Faulkner, from Georgia Tech, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Brought him on over, and that's a guy who can mold and who can work with the talent that he has and make the adjustments according to the talent, which is I think a lost art in some cases in college in terms of coaching, right? Square peg round hole, and that's not this guy. So I just want a guy who can develop the quarterback and get his receivers the football, bro, because we know Bog gonna do his thing. So
Oh yeah, that's a bad boy.
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm interested in this Gators roster and who may or may not stick around. What are your early thoughts, feelings? What are the tea leaves suggesting in terms of the players remaining with this particular coach? They were recruited by Napier. You mentioned that Napier is a strong recruiter. I think it's evident considering the talent that he's amassed. The development, unfortunately, hasn't necessarily been there, particularly at the quarterback position. So, what's the feeling on that front?
Man, nobody. As far as I know, nobody's leaving, bro. Nobody's leaving. They're adding more in terms of signing day. They're adding more in terms of recruits. I think he plucked on one or two recruits from other schools.
I did see that. I think they flipped somebody from LSU, if I'm not mistaken.
They did. It was a safety or athlete or safety. I can't remember, but I think they have a really strong core in terms of the players on the team to keep people in house. Say, look, listen, and everybody knows, bro. Florida is talented, bro, and they just blew it this year. You know what I'm saying? In terms of Billy Napier just not doing
execution,
what he should have been doing. That's what it is, bro. It's a talented team that should be probably one of the teams in the playoffs. They're not there. We know why, and I feel this team gonna make a run, bro. They gonna make a run.
All right. We shall see. We shall see. I think certainly the move was warranted. And I understand that there's a particular allure associated with Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin has proven himself to be certainly capable. He hasn't necessarily had SEC championship success, but certainly he's demonstrated what he can do with an offense. There's no question about that. And that's the big question mark, right? In terms of getting the most out of Lagway. You go in a different direction. Seemingly, if you can keep that core that UF has, that talented core that UF has, then to me, I mean, that gives you a vote of confidence, certainly, right? It still remains to be seen in terms of the development of the quarterback, what happens on the field, what happens on Saturdays, but keeping that core together after losing the coach that brought those players in is very important, incredibly important. So that's what I'm going to continue to keep my eye on. I see Mr. C. He nabbed himself that 4-star from you. You know what I'm saying? A little flip type of situation, which I would imagine is associated with the coaching change. That happens. That happens. So, okay. All right. Well, with that said, with those pair of questions answered, let's take a look at this here mock draft simulator and the corresponding rankings. All right. And I'm going to move us here so we can just get this a little bit larger, slightly, not substantially, but slightly larger. Okay. So as you can see, the order isn't right. Like, we're behind. I'm not even going to make any bones about it. We're behind. But again, the focus tonight, the focus tonight is really right-sizing what we have here in the way of our top 50 or so prospects. So again, may not be able to get through all 50 this evening, but certainly want to start this process. The last time we made any adjustments to this set of rankings for the 2026 NFL draft, we maintained that Caleb Downs was the top prospect in the class. Drew, is Caleb Downs still in your mind, the top prospect in the class?
This is hard, man, because Ruben Bain is a pass rusher, bro, and he's kind of stayed the course, man. Caleb Downs is a superstar. He's at the safety position. You know what? I'm not coming off of it, bro. I am okay with leaving him as the number one prospect, bro. I'm good with it, bro. He's done nothing wrong. He's done nothing to hurt himself this season, bro. So why are we punishing him, man? You know what I mean? To move him down. You know, Bain has come on. He's kind of proved himself. If I'm not mistaken, he was a little injured last year, and he is that guy, bro. But Caleb Downs been the guy since I don't know when, bro. It's tough though because he does play the safety position. It's tough, bro.
Yeah, I think certainly your point's well taken. Caleb Downs hasn't done anything to not be deserving of the top one or two players in this class, right? There's nothing on film where I'm like, ooh, let me throw a little cold water on it. I just think Bain has been just as good, and it doesn't necessarily reflect in all of the counting stats, but he's been as good as anybody in the country, right? Caleb Downs is a rare player in that you generally don't game plan for players that play the safety position, right? And he is one of those individuals that you got to be aware of on every snap. Bain's getting double teamed. We sliding protection to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just for my money, I'm gonna go with Bain, and you could call me a homer. You can call me a homer because that's.
Oh, he's an edge rusher, bro. He's an edge rusher. He's closer to the ball.
There is a certain level of that. So if I have these two players rated evenly, right, dead heat in terms of talent. If I have them that close, right, very little separating them, I'm gonna go with the edge rusher as a top prospect.
100%.
In the class. So
100%.
we will make a slight adjustment there. So with that said, does anybody else move ahead of Caleb Downs here?
So Bain 1, Caleb 2 is what you're saying right now.
That's what I'm saying. Some feel that some people feel that Arvell Reese is a top player in this class. Is he a top 2 player in this class for you, or is he a top 5 player?
No, he's a top 5 player, but I understand why they're talking about it because every game he's effective and they're using him in a bunch of different ways. First, it kind of started out as a linebacker at the second level, making plays, coming downhill, playing in space, and now they're starting to put him out on the edge. So they're kind of showing his entire skill set. And some people are talking about they might just want him to play pass rusher, bro, because he was so effective at doing it. I think he's more effective as a moving piece within the defense. Just depends on what kind of defense you can play. Play 4-3-3-4 Legos, 3-3-5, whatever it is that you're going to do. He could be an effective piece. But I'm not giving him the nod, and the reason I'm not giving him the nod to eclipse Bain or Downs is because he's doing it this year. I know we're in this year, but he's doing it this year. You know what I'm saying? As opposed to these two guys who, Bain, we just needed to check a box or two, and Caleb Downs just needed to continue to do what Caleb Downs has done since he's been in college football, right? So, no.
I can get with that.
You know what I'm saying?
I think, to your point, the body of work, when you consider Caleb Downs and Ruben Bain, is greater. I think Arvell Reese is having as good a season, if not the best season, among any player, any prospect in the class. But I agree with you. There. That body of work has to count for something in my mind.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So we'll go Bain 1, Caleb Downs 2. Currently, Peter Woods is 3, followed by Spencer Fano out of Utah, and then Keldrick Falk, who I think we're probably a little bit higher on Falk than the general consensus. Where does Reese land for you? Is he ahead of Woods, Fano, and Falk?
I'm gonna put him 3, bro.
Okay.
Gingerly.
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 Why is that? Why gingerly?
it's the body of work. And he has an advantage, bro, because again, like I was saying, he's being used in multiple ways, right? He's being unleashed, right? I don't know that Peter Woods is being unleashed, and I don't know that Keldrick Falk is being unleashed. So it's a little bit, it's a little bit of an advantage that he has over those two guys, and it's recency bias. I'm trying to not use that, but I guess you got to use it though when you talk about prospects, bro. I mean, if guys show up, you got to give them their credit. So, um, yeah, we gonna slide him in at 3, man. I gotta, because this is not a guy. I think we talked about the Ohio State linebackers, but we weren't thinking either one of them are going to be this. And if it was going to be one of them, it was definitely going to be Styles and not
Styles, right?
Reese,
And
right?
not Reese. Reese
Yeah,
we did not necessarily see coming.
yeah,
Right. Styles had an opportunity, obviously, to bolster his stock. Didn't expect him to now be in the first round conversation,
right,
but
right.
certainly Reese is absolutely turned heads because we just weren't as familiar with Arvell Reese entering the season. Okay, so if you slide in Arvell Reese to 3, where does that land Woods?
You can leave. You can be at 4. You can lock him
Okay,
in at 4. I'm good with
okay.
that. I'm good.
And
With,
then
I'm good with.
you just want to slide it? You're just thinking sliding it?
Yeah, just sliding it. Just sliding it.
Okay. All right. So Arvell Reese 3, followed by Peter
Mm-hmm.
Woods. Okay. At what point do we stop sliding it? Now is my question. So
So okay, so I
I
missed the
put
guy,
these
bro.
names in. Okay, I'm listening.
So David Bailey, David Bailey. Remember
Yeah,
that? Man?
David Bailey. That David Banner. Should David Bailey end up at 4? I'm not mad
Yes.
at it. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, you should. Yep.
All right. So David Bailey at 4, followed by Peter Woods at 5.
Yep. Yep.
Okay.
And then you go Fano.
Still like
And then
Fano. Okay.
yeah, still like Fano. And then Falk is good there. What's that? 6. So that's 6.
Okay.
Top 6.
All right. So let me pause there for a moment. And as I work on this, I wanna get your thoughts on keeping it in the vein of these prospects and the positions that we're talking about right now. Um, do you think that this draft class is shallow? Would you go as far as to say that the draft class is shallow on the offensive side of the ball as compared to the defense?
Oof. So I'm looking position by position,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like yeah. I'm just looking at the positions. Yeah, I would say because you're talking about the top 2 at every position, and then there's a I don't want to say Grand Canyon, but there's a cliff.
Mm.
And I mean, there's some space between the next guy or 2 or 3, and then there's another space. So yes, yeah,
Gotcha.
it's yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Fair enough. Fair enough. Let's see what we're working with here. Let me actually see if I can make these changes reflected real time.
All right.
All right, and while I'm doing that, Drew, I got another question for you, man. Lots of questions.
Yeah.
So, Mr. C's working on the PFN a draft sim. He's in the 28 hole, I imagine, with the Seattle Seahawks, who look phenomenal defensively.
Yeah, they do.
He in fact is adding even more teeth to that team with David Bailey.
Oh man,
That's an embarrassment of riches there, man.
listen,
But
I
I would
don't think he'll be there.
no.
Shouldn't, anyways.
He shouldn't be there. He definitely shouldn't be there. So, but it does not surprise me that he's there because I think the general consensus has been lower on David Bailey. We've been higher
Yeah.
consistently when the various draft publications had David Bailey in the 3rd round entering this year. We had him in the top 10,
Yeah.
top 5
Yep.
in some instances. You know what I'm
Yep.
saying? So yeah, I think everybody is starting to catch up with respect to David Bailey, and I don't even think everybody's quite there yet. Texas Tech looks like they're going to be in the playoffs. He's going to get that opportunity. He's going to get that notoriety. I think there's going to be a
Yep.
different conversation we're having with about David Bailey over the course of the conference championship and then ultimately the college football playoffs.
Yeah, 100%,
All
bro.
right.
I agree. Him and
Let's
Romello Height over there, who we talked about as
mhm,
well, coming from
mhm.
I think he came from Georgia Tech, if I'm not mistaken, or Tennessee. I can't remember.
He's bounced
Which
around.
Tech?
He was at Tech. I think he was at
Okay.
USC more recently, or vice
Okay.
versa, and then he ultimately ended up at Texas
Yeah.
Tech. Okay, let's see what we got here. I'm gonna go back in and oh, look at that.
Mm, mm,
Ruben
mm.
Bain, Caleb Downs, Arville Reese, David Bailey, Peter Woods, Spencer Fano. Keldrick Falk is the one player that is in the wind effectively. All right, so we'll just
Mhm.
keep him in mind. I think Chris Bell will end up in our top 50. I think that is going to be
Yeah.
the case, Mr. C. A player that we definitely should be moving up this evening. Okay. All right, Drew. I asked you about your Gators. I asked you about your
Mhm.
Gators, so I'm gonna ask about your pro team now, man.
Mm,
Do,
mm,
do the do the Bucks hold off the Panthers and win the NFC South?
mm. Yeah, bro, they do.
You think so?
Yeah, we have an easier schedule than like we got the Saints,
Okay.
and then we got to play the
Okay.
Falcons, and then I think we play the Panthers. So, and as far as I'm concerned, all we have to do is beat the Panthers one time. But them boys impressed me last week. Because me and brother was talking about we looking at the schedules before they played the Rams. Like, yeah, that's a loss. And then
Mm,
they stayed with the Rams after the Bucks got
mhm.
their head smashed in. And eventually, I'm like, if that defense is coming along a lot faster than we thought. Number one, number two, Bryce Young, bro, he's turning into the quarterback that we think he should have been, and he's playing in that system that apparently makes quarterbacks better, bro.
Hey, man, coaching matters.
Unleashes quarterbacks, bro.
Excuse me.
So
Coaching certainly matters, and the thing about Bryce Young is that, like you said, we have maintained, we've kept the faith associated with Bryce Young. That was our QB1 of that particular class. It wasn't a huge discrepancy between Stroud, but people wrote Bryce Young off. They wrote him off, and I think there's a tendency for us to overreact, but it was not pretty, right? It certainly was concerning how his career got underway, and I still think young quarterback, young team. I still think there are too many peaks and valleys in his play. I'm looking for more consistency, but I think the flashes that you see, I think, and we're not just talking about a good game. So there was like a rash. He had like 6, 7 straight games of less than 200 yards passing,
yeah.
and but
Mm-hmm.
there were little things. There were little things in terms of quarterbacking that Bryce was doing that was it didn't move the needle for most folks, which is understandable, right? In a league that is designed for points and yards through the air, to be that pedestrian is concerning. But you could see how just a little bit, just a half second more, just a little bit more anticipation, just a like he was right there on the cusp. And then of course he's put together some really impressive performances. So for me, with respect to Bryce Young, and certainly in terms of the Carolina Panthers, perhaps making a push to win the NFC South, he's got to
Right.
be more consistent week to week. It's there. The talent is there. To me, it's not a question, right? Does he have prodigious physical tools? No, but I think, as we mentioned, several years ago, he's got the right nervous system. You know what I'm saying? And when he's hot, he it's difficult. He can put the ball
Yeah.
wherever he needs to put it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Slight movement in the pocket. You know what I'm saying? It uses all of his weapons. I I still very much in the camp of Bryce Young, and I think he's done enough, particularly here over the last couple of weeks, to really feel encouraged by it. I would say over the last two of the last 3 games have probably been better, two of his better performances of his career. You know what I mean? And at this point, you don't expect him to go out and throw for 400 plus yards, which he did a few weeks ago, every week. You just that's just not
Yeah.
realistic. But certainly, he should be able to average 250 yards a game, right? Protect the football. I think that's the other thing. I think at times he's put the ball in harm's way, which is not something that I expected from him. I expected him to do a better job protecting the football. So, yeah, I think certainly, reason to be encouraged, but a lot of work still to be done. The fact that they are right on the
Right
cusp,
there.
though, yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah,
I
man.
mean, they've won big games, bro. There's games where
Yes.
you kind of go down the schedule and you're like, yeah, that's a loss, that's a loss, that's your loss, and they turn around and they ruin people's parlays, bro. And you spoke to it in terms of him not because one of the biggest things I was thinking about him just playing. He's as I like to say, know your limitations and play within the system, right?
Mhm.
And when he's playing outside that system and he's trying to be this we know you was well, he was we know he wasn't the number one pick. It was it Stroud or was it him? I can't
No,
remember.
no, it was right. It was young.
It
It
was
was
Bryson.
young. Oh
So
yeah.
we know you the number one pick, bro, but you don't have to play like Josh Allen. That's not you, right? Play
Yeah.
within who you are, which is
Yes. Be,
within the system,
be the
right?
best
And,
version of you.
and
Be the best
correct, bro.
version of you.
Listen,
Yes.
I just need you to be the distributor. I need you to be that point guard
Mm-hmm.
that can shoot the jumper, bro. Shoot the
Mm-hmm.
20-footer, bro. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
at times, maybe take a
Yeah. Knock
three
it
here or
down.
there. You know what I'm saying?
Correct.
But for the most
Correct.
part, distribute and knock it down, bro. That's it, bro. And you're gonna dominate.
And
Your team. It's gonna be hard to beat, bro.
yes, yes, you could tell that the team collectively, coaching staff included, the confidence
Yep.
is growing, and I think that's very important. I think they find a way to win this division. Who knows? You say it all the time. Confidence is a hell of a drug. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? You don't know what kind of switch because the Panthers are ahead of the curve under those
Yeah.
circumstances. I think to this point the season has been a success, right?
Yep.
I think the only thing that would contradict this season being a success if they have a meltdown through the rest of the year. So,
Right.
but if you could certainly make it to the playoffs and of course the playoffs is a different animal. I think having experience in the playoffs it matters as well. But who knows? You beat one of the top 3 teams in the league, not just NFC in the league, in the Rams, right? You've given good football teams tough outs. The problem is that you've played down to the competition as well. So
Yeah,
that's
there
where
it
that
goes.
consistency, that
Yep.
conversation continues to kind of rear its ugly head. And it's somewhat to be expected of a young football team, right? That
Yep.
hasn't necessarily grown accustomed to winning and handling success. You know what I mean? But interesting inflection point with the Panthers because to me in my mind it was the Bucks' division, right? They
Yep.
could just run away and hide with it, and that isn't the case. I think
No.
to your point, they have an easier path, but that
Yep.
hasn't been the case. That's why they play the game.
Bucks getting healthy too. That's the other part of
That
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 too.
that is
So
important. That is
yeah.
important. I actually went to the game this past Sunday, and Baker did not look good. Did not look good.
Yeah.
Simeon Rice was
But
inducted into the Ring of Honor.
yeah.
Um, it he didn't look particularly good, but like you said, they're getting healthy. They got Godwin back, and more importantly, they got Bucky Irving back.
Oh my gosh,
They
bro.
got Bucky Irving.
Bro, I forgot what it looked like, bro. He been gone for so long, bro.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it didn't really
bro.
dawn on me how much time he's missed this season.
Yeah.
Like he has missed the vast majority of the season. It wasn't
Yep.
just a month. It's been 2.5 months since we've seen Bucky Irving.
Yep.
So yeah, the cavalry is on its way to
Bro.
Tampa
Just in
Bay.
time. Just in time.
Yes,
B.
sir. All right. So I mentioned Keldrick Falk is the one player that's a bit in the wind currently, but 1 through 6 has been updated. Okay. The first 5 players, all defenders, and indicative of this class. I think I'm a little bit more optimistic about the offensive group as a whole. I have more work
Mhm.
to do in terms of the offensive line, but I think the
Yeah.
skill
Okay.
positions are a little bit better than I had anticipated. And a few quarterbacks. There's been a few quarterbacks that have kind of rehabilitated my confidence in some of the prospects. One
Right.
Fernando Mendoza has been every. I think, like I said, there's a handful of folks, handful of publications that felt that Mendoza was that guy. I didn't believe it. Drew, you said, I may not be seeing it. It might be the games that I'm watching. Apparently, it was, because he looks phenomenal in my mind. I'm on board with Fernando Mendoza. I like Dante Moore quite a bit. Not sure if he's going to come out. I'm a little less bullish on Tyler Simpson, and I think the primary reason why I am is because I think the other two, Mendoza and Moore, do a much better job of dealing with pressure. Tyler Simpson, I won't go as far as implodes, but he struggles to deal with pressure. Right? He's another one that I think could probably benefit from going back to school. You know what I mean? So I'm not convinced either he or Moore will enter the draft, but considering that there are at least about 4 or 5 teams in the NFL looking for their long-term signal caller, and the players that we anticipated to be in that conversation among the top few quarterbacks selected clearly have not played well. Tyler Simpson certainly has played better than those guys, and Nussmeier's Aller, of course, getting hurt, and so on and so forth. It's a unique situation where you can just kind of strike while the iron's hot. But I have some reservations. I have some reservations about Tyler Simpson in particular. That said, we do have Spencer Fano at number 6, and currently Jeremiah Love sits at number 7. He's big time. Love is big time. Do you think there's a prospect better than Love?
So this is where I'm thinking to myself, do I put a Jordan Tyson in front of him? Do I put a Malachi Lemon in front of him?
Malachi Lemon, yeah.
Because in my opinion, I think those two receivers have to be in the top 10.
Both of them. Both of them. You got both of them in the top 10. Yep. Interesting.
Just are they in front of Love is the question, bro.
Gotcha. See, I certainly can get on board with one of them. And to your point, there may be folks who feel like you're not mentioning a third guy who might in some people's mind is better than Jordan Tyson and Mekhi Lemon and Carnell Tate. I don't necessarily agree with that. But there is a hive. There is a hive for Carnell Tate that he is the top receiver in the 2026 class. Certainly we can mash out the Drew Allers and the Garrett Nussmeiers. We currently have them at 11 and 12. That clearly is stale. Tyson sitting at 13. I'm okay with moving him up. Mekhi Lemon at 18. Definitely okay with moving him up. But top 10. Talk to me. Why should they be top 10?
Bro, the boys be doing some ridiculous stuff, bro. They just create they just open, bro. Like, I don't know what else to tell you, man. Like, every week is a highlight reel for those guys. And the reason why I would have those guys in front of Tate is because Tate has the monster on the team with him, bro, that people have to deal with, bro.
That's
true. What I'm saying?
That's true.
And so, not that I don't think Tate can't do it, right? But these guys are doing it. Like, there is no, I'm not going to say there's no other receiver on the team, but that's the guy you have to stop. And teams don't stop Tyson and don't stop Lemon, right? We got to have them in there, bro. I just think they got to be in the top 10, bro.
Okay. So with that said, you like them both over Love? You like one over Love?
Nah, let's leave Love.
Or just put them right behind Love.
Right behind Love.
Okay. All right. So we can. I think because Jamad McCoy hasn't been healthy, we can effectively move him down. Yeah. I think McCoy, obviously entering this year, assuming he was healthy, was considered the top corner in the class. May end up being the top corner in the class.
Yeah, at the end of that, so said and done.
But I think we certainly can move him down. I'm not mad at it. I like the conviction. I definitely like the conviction that you have about these two receivers. And that's part of the reason why I'm a bit more optimistic about this class, right? Like, entering the year, we were like, it's a good receiving group, but maybe maybe not an upper echelon type. No. They might not have the prototypical size you might be looking for, but you look around the league, right?
Yeah.
The top receivers aren't 6'4", 220 necessarily.
Nope.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, maybe not the quote unquote top receiver, but the most productive receivers, right? You got the likes of a Amon-Ra St. Brown, right? Look at
Mhm.
Smith and Jigba for
Yeah,
Mississippi
bro.
Seahawks, right?
Yeah, lighten it
Different
up.
body type. Wasn't sure if he was going to be a slot only guy or be able to play
Mhm.
outside the number. So I'm with you. I'm with you. I would not, you know, just assume that these guys aren't that good within this particular class because they may not necessarily be prototypical in size, a desired
Right.
Julio Jones 6'3", 220 running a 4.3. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So, okay. All right. Let me work on that. And while I work on that, let's talk about your new favorite subject, and that's the Notre Dame Fighting Irish, Drew.
Bruh.
Uh,
Bruh. Bruh. Bruh.
go ahead.
Listen.
Go ahead.
Listen. So I need the committee, first of all. I think there are people that live in 1980s, 70s, 60s, 50s, however long Notre Dame's been a school, bro. And they live in that time where that team, that they were that team. They were them, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I can't, bro. First of all, one of the biggest issues I have with Notre Dame, bro, is I need you in a conference, bro. I need you in a conference. I need you to be playing teams within a conference that everybody else in that conference is playing, bro. You get to
That's
just
fair.
cherry pick, cherry pick, cherry pick. And to me, if you want to do that, that is 100% okay. You want to stay in that independent. You want to play the navies and the not to take shots at the air forces and all of that, bro, and the army. That's fine, bro. That's tradition. That's whatever. But what I'm saying is when we pull up the schedules, bro, and we comparing team versus team and head to head and all these things, bro. For me, bro, you gonna take a hit, bro. You gonna take a hit because you decided that you want to keep your NBC money, okay, and you want to stay in you want to stay in that conference. That's fine,
Mm,
bro. Keep your money and stay
keep
in
your
that
money.
conference, and you are out, bro. You're
Keep
out,
your
bro.
money.
I can't do it, bro. I can't. And I'm
Can't
I'm a
do it.
I'm a Gator fan through and through, but what they're doing in Miami right now is unacceptable, bro. And some people need to be brought to the front of the congregation,
Mm.
and they need to be. We got to talk about it, bro, because I don't know how you look at both of those schools, bro, and tell me that Notre Dame might be playing better football right now, but they beat them head to head, and Notre Dame never led in the game, bro.
Listen, listen. You make great points. The one thing I will disagree with you is
Better
this
football.
notion that they're playing better football than Miami right now. I don't buy it. You look at common opponents, and
Yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
we
yeah,
played those common
yeah.
opponents more recently.
Yeah, you did. You're right.
Aside from them running it up against Syracuse,
Yeah,
we've played the better common opponents, and
yeah.
we've beat them by a wider margin. We were more dominant in those games. So Miami has put themselves, unfortunately, in a position where you now open yourself up to these politics.
Yeah.
So
Yep.
part of that is on Miami, but I agree with you. I think it's bull at the end of the day, right? I'm certainly no Florida State fan, and I know you and I may disagree with respect to this, considering that they lost Jordan Travis when they were left out
Right.
in the playoff. Different format, right? It was the best four, whatever the case may be. But my issue with that whole decision, I'm not mad about it because it's FSU, right? Like I don't feel bad about it, but this is the type of thing that I thought about when it happened was you're devaluing the head to head,
What's
regardless
the
of what
point?
took place. What's the point of playing the games at that point? That was my reluctance about FSU. Again, obviously not being the same team without Jordan Travis, but they won those games. You know what I'm saying? How do you effectively take that away from them? So what you have is a situation where Notre Dame is getting more credit for who they lost to then Miami is getting credit for who they actually beat, which includes Notre Dame.
It's crazy.
It's crazy, bro. It's insane, bro. and they want to talk about the SMUs and Louisville's, again, teams that Miami should have beaten, mind you, lost by one score in both, less than a touchdown. As if they're not solid teams, right? I'm not suggesting those are great teams. I'm not kidding myself. I don't think either one of those teams is better than Texas A&M, whom Notre Dame played in a tight contest, right? But to give Notre Dame more credit for a quality loss as opposed to the head-to-head matchup, that's you've jumped the shark at that point, as far as I'm concerned.
And you're handpicking your schedule, by the way.
Oh,
this is the other part of that. Not that coaches have a certain amount of games that they can pick, but as far as I know, Notre Dame get to just USC's usually every year, so that's one that there's always going to be on the schedule. But the rest of it, outside of the militaries, what we talking about, bro? And so I'm gonna weigh you more heavily because you get to do that while Miami's stuck in the ACC, bro. Like, what you mean? So it's wild, bro. And every time I turn around and Notre Dame's in a championship game, bro, they're getting their head smashed in, bro. It's never pretty. And I'm over it, bro. I like Marcus Freeman as a coach. I think he's one of the best coaches in the country.
I do,
but
as well. Yep.
Just the brand of Notre Dame.
Yeah.
The passes that they get, just I can't do it, bro. Like this is a pretty easy equation for me, bro. And they acting like it's trigonometry, bro. Like it's sine and cosine this thing, bro. Like what are we talking about, bro?
Sine and cosine.
Sine and cosine. Go get your scientific calculator and let's do the math, bro. No, it's not that simple, bro. This is 1 + 2 - 3 + 4, bro. You know what I'm saying?
I don't tune into like the committees,
I don't either, bro. I just
stuff. I don't tune into that, but I get excerpts and I get secondhand, and so for some of the reasoning, bro, don't make no sense, bro. Oh, well, we're not necessarily considering the head-to-head matchup because those two teams aren't, juxtaposed to one another in the rankings. What? They have the same exact record.
What are we talking about?
When you look other than strength of schedule, I think Notre Dame has a 37th ranked strength of schedule, and Miami has the 46th. So not a seismic difference, first and foremost. But that is like the only metric, bro, that Notre Dame has over Miami. The only metric, right? And part of the reason why their strength of schedule is higher is because they played us.
Facts.
It's because they played us. So anyway, very, very frustrating situation. And I agree with you. I think it to me and you, the brand does not carry that kind of weight, right? To you and I. But apparently it does in the realm of eyes and dollars, because they have the NBC contract, right? They've had it. Whether they've been good, bad, indifferent, they've had it. They've continued to have it. They were in the national championship a season ago. You know what I'm saying? So there's clearly money behind that program, right? There is big money behind that program. So and you're not going to convince me that doesn't play a role in the equation. All right, let's see here what we got. Let's just make a quick change here. So I've moved out Aller and Nussmeier. Get out of there. Got to go. What I'm looking at right now, before I hit the button, we addressed the top 6. Next up is, as you can see, Jeremiah Love. At 8, we've moved up Jordan Tyson, receiver out of Arizona State, followed by Mekhi Lemon, receiver out of USC, 2 studs. I got Anthony Hill Jr. at 10, Francis Mawinoa at 11, Kildrick Falk at 12, replacing Nussmeier, and Jermod McCoy at 13, replacing Jordan Tyson, considering that he's moved up 5 spots. 14 and 15, as you see on screen, remain the same in terms of Avian Terrell and Cassius Howe. Anything we need to perhaps adjust to that point?
I want to move Cassius Howe up.
Want to move him up? Fair enough.
Yeah. Who you had at 11 and 12?
11 and 12 is Maui Noah and Falk.
Falk. And then who was 13?
Jermod McCoy.
Jermod McCoy. Where you got Anthony Hill at? He's 11?
10.
Anthony
Hill's at 10.
Mm-hmm. All right. Let's put Maui Noah at 10.
Okay.
Swap those guys. And then let's move Howell in front of Hill and then slide everybody down.
Okay, gotcha.
Yep.
All right, so let's move Howell to 11. Okay, and then effectively we're moving everyone down. Hill at 12. Okay. So are you, let me ask this question. Are you in favor of Avian Terrell over Mansour Delane? Or would you have Mansour ahead of Terrell?
Oh no, let's do Mansour ahead of Terrell. Yeah, he's probably going to go in front of him. One, because I think he's faster. Two, he's a bigger player. Like he's got the measurables, all those things.
I do think he possesses some traits and measurables that Terrell does not have necessarily. All right. So with that being said, I will move Mansour Delane here. Put him at 15. I know I got him a bit further down on the list. You said before we went on air, you had some questions for me. What you got for me?
Well, you answered a couple in terms of the Miami, the Notre Dame, your feelings on it. If you heard, bro, because it's one thing you have no control over what's happening, and at the same time, you kind of said it. You said we kind of self-inflicted, bro. We kind of,
we at the end of the day,
turnovers in both games. You know what I'm saying? And just you had a shot, you ruined it. So you no longer control your destiny. So
exactly.
You did it to yourself. You just don't like it to be against a team you beat. You know what I mean? If it was a different team where things don't match up that's precise and that's equal. You know what I mean? In terms of the common opponents and all the different things, like that's too easy, bro. And it's like another turnover, bro. You know what I'm saying? We driving down the field, we're about to score, we throw the pick six. And we had a guy wide open in the corner of the end zone, right? And that's what it feels like right now if I'm a Miami fan with what's happening with Notre Dame getting the shot to, if it was the start today, they would be in, y'all would be out, which is nuts.
It's a tough pill to swallow because last year we ruined the Cam Ward season, right? We were just abysmal on the defensive side.
Imagine if I had Cam Ward right now, bro. What would that look like, bro? Undefeated.
Oh, trust me.
Number one in the country.
I have thought about that. No, we're competing for a national championship.
Oh, 100%, bro. That'd be number one team easily, bro. It'd be you and State, bro. It'd be you and Ohio State, bro. That's what the talk would be right now. Nobody else. There's nobody else to talk about.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, that isn't the case. It didn't work out. But as a fan, you ruined the Cam Ward season, special season. You ruined that because you just did not field a quality defensive unit. Okay. Go into the offseason, you fire everybody except for Jason Taylor. You do the right things. You push all the right buttons, right? Between recruits, because you got a ton of freshmen making contributions. You got, Bain, Mesidor back healthy. Both of them actually were banged up a season ago. So that exacerbated things. You got a competent secondary. In fact, you got playmakers in the secondary now. All right. True freshmen, transfers, guys seemingly getting developed. You got the new defensive coordinator and you're humming on the defensive side of the ball, right? Beck has been up and down, but has been much better as of late over the last three to 4 games is playing at a pretty high level. But you whether it be coaching, whether it be, some untimely turnovers, penalties. You know what I'm saying? A lot of it has been self-inflicted. I don't know that any team has like truly just punched Miami in the mouth. I think Louisville probably was the closest, but we lost a one-score game and back through 5 INTs, bro, and we lost by 1 score, bro. So I think Louisville was a more physical team in that game. I think they had a great. They certainly outcoached us in that game. So I got to give them credit. I can't just say that Miami just beat themselves, but yeah, who can you possibly beat when you turn the ball over 5 times?
Yeah.
Just serving them up. It's just the fact that we only lost by 1 score. So crazy. That said, yeah, I have lost a little sleep over the notion of Cam Ward and this particular defense. I think when I take a step back and I think glass half full, this is the first back-to-back double-digit win seasons Miami has had since 2003, bro.
That's a long time, me.
Long time. Very long time, bro. So I regardless of the outcomes, again, it would be disappointing, just like it was last year. It would be disappointing, right? We didn't give ourselves an opportunity to play in the ACC championship yet again. By the way, the ACC like tie-breaking rules are the most asinine things I have ever read in a
What
rule.
what does that look like, bro? Because
Bro,
I'm seeing
bro,
I'm seeing Duke
I'm gonna pull it up.
and Virginia playing, bro, and I'm like
I'm gonna pull it up, bro. I'm
I
gonna
want to
pull it up,
puke, bro. Although Virginia's
bro.
I think that's a tough football team. But.
So it's like they'll do anything other than wins and losses, bro. Just like a bunch of stuff other than wins and losses. You understand what I'm saying? Like what's so funny about it is that in the standings, Virginia only has 1 conference loss, but they actually lost 2 conference games.
What?
The reason why it only reflects 1 conference loss is because the game they lost to NC State was considered a non-conference game.
Because
right?
it was just an extra game?
It was just an extra game. So instead of playing, an out-of-conference opponent or a FCS team or what have you, they just decided to schedule NC State. It's we're not going to spend a whole lot of money to have somebody come play us, right? We recruit kind of the same areas, whatever the case may be. So they lost to NC State, but it didn't hurt them because it wasn't a quote-unquote conference game, bro.
Come on, bro.
I will pull it up for you. I will pull up the
wild.
ACC
What?
tiebreaker rules for you. I will pull it up. Oh my goodness, it's nonsensical, bro. It really is nonsensical. Here we go. Let's see here. Tiebreaker policy. Oh man. All right, here you go. Check it out. A little reading time. All right.
Mm-hmm.
Even though Cam went 1, do you think he regrets it now? Could be playing for a national title versus getting sacked nonstop for the time. I don't know that Cam had any more eligibility.
Yeah, I don't think so.
See. And while it's certainly been a rough season, a very difficult season, the Titans certainly didn't do right by Cam year 1. Already fired their coach. Meanwhile, Vrabel has New England humming. That's another question I have for you there. I believe in Cam. I think he's just so mentally tough. I'm not concerned about how some quarterbacks get punch drunk. You know what I'm saying, and their confidence gets hurt and they just can't recover. I don't necessarily worry about that. Now, Tennessee needs to have a hell of an offseason. They need to have a hell of an offseason, and the focus.
They got plenty of money to do it.
The focus has to be get Cam some help because he don't have any help right now. He's got none.
Nope. O-line,
he has absolutely none.
Receivers.
Yeah. It's bad all around. It's bad all around. All right, so the tiebreaker policy here for the ACC champion will be decided by a game between the top 2 postseason eligible teams. The 2 teams with the highest percentage of wins during all regular season conference competition shall play in the championship game. If 3 or more such teams are tied with the highest percentage of wins, or two or more teams are tied with the second highest percentage of wins, the following tiebreaker procedure shall be administered to determine the representatives of the championship game. So we had to go into the tiebreaker, right? Head-to-head competition between the two tied teams, win percentage against all common opponents, win percentage against common opponents based upon their order of finish, and proceeding through our common opponents based upon their order of finish, combined win percentage of conference opponents. This is what determined it.
Combined win percentage of conference opponents. Wow.
Not where I'm ranked in the country. Not strength of schedule. It's pretty bad. And the whole notion of Virginia having lost to NC State, but it not counting against them. You end up with a 7-5 Duke team in the conference championship, bro.
Yeah,
that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a problem, bro.
They're 7-5. What are we talking about? And have the same number of conference losses as Miami. And they didn't play each other. But the 7-5 team gets in? What?
Might be a conspiracy, bro. Because if y'all played this championship game and blow them out, bro. Notre Dame's sitting and not playing anybody.
Well, that's the thing. If Duke happens to beat Virginia, I don't think there's any ACC team getting into college football playoffs.
Yeah.
Right? That hurts Miami as far as I'm concerned, because they're going to be like, oh, well, this conference is trash.
Yeah.
They're 8-5 conference champion. You know what I'm saying? Like, Notre Dame has punched their ticket. That's what you're going to hear. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, the determining factor was the combined win percentage of conference opponents. Yep. Anywho. All right. Let's get back to this. Okay. Let me just rattle this off real quick to you and make sure it sounds right. We got Cassius Howell at 11. Start with Maui Noah at 10. Howell at 11. Falk at 12. Anthony Hill Jr. at 13. Jamad McCoy at 14. Mansour Delane at 15. I need a name for 18 to do this update. So let me scroll down a bit. I've moved Slaughter out and currently have Terrell in that spot. Of course, we can move Terrell if we feel we should. And then at 18, previously was Makai Lemon. He's now in the top 10. Beast. We need a name to go there as well.
Oh, I see a guy you can move up. You can move up. What's he at? You can move up Sadiq, bro.
Yeah, move up Sadiq.
You can move Sadiq up. He need to make sure he's in the top 20.
Okay. I can certainly put Sadiq in. Let's put him in at 18, and then update and then reassess. We can move things around a little bit more, but I'm gonna update and then reassess here. All right, so that should have every slot accounted for, and let us do this. See if that updates. All right, give this a shot. So 1 through 6 looks good. 7 through 10 looks good. Howell now at 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. All right.
Yep.
That looks good. Okay. So I think probably through 15, we feel pretty good about what we have here. Got McCoy and Delane right there next to one another. TJ Parker at 16. What do you think?
I'm taking a look. Let's see if there's anybody that I would throw. You said at 16?
Yeah. He's currently at 16. I'm just gonna take a peek elsewhere, see what folks are talking about a little bit in the space. I think we could certainly consider, and maybe we're too low. Perhaps we're too low, but I think we could certainly consider the quarterbacks at this point.
Oh, yes. Yes. My bad. Yeah, let's do that. Let's slide some quarterbacks in there. Let's see this. Let's start with Mendoza.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I'm not as bullish on Mendoza as I was obviously Cam Ward.
Right.
But certainly top half of the first round, from a rankings perspective. If the Jets move up, which I anticipate, or someone moving up to 1, the Titans they need to trade down. They need to trade down multiple times. All right, they got a lot of work to do. Got their quarterback, they got to get everything else situated. So quarterbacks tend to be overdrafted. I'm not mad at selecting Mendoza first overall. I'm not mad at it. I think what I've seen of Mendoza when he has looked human is what has encouraged me the most. When Mendoza's putting up the video game numbers, I'm like, all right, that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's cool. You know, because Indiana has a good team.
Yeah, they do.
And they're a
Solid
physical
team,
bunch too. It's a very good football team. I think they're gonna give Ohio State everything they can handle in the Big Ten championship. But it's those games where there's been some adversity, right? The Oregon matchup comes to mind. The Iowa matchup comes to mind. The Penn State matchup comes to mind, right? All of those teams feature solid defenses, NFL talent throughout those defenses. And it wasn't perfect. It wasn't pristine. It wasn't a 21 for 22 outing, 350 yards, 4 TDs, no blemishes. You know what I'm saying? There was a turnover. He did get hit, but when it came down to it, crunch time, Mendoza kept
let
coming.
me get the ball last, coach. Let me get the ball last. Let me take our team down.
He just keeps coming. He just keeps making plays when they matter the most. So it was that, seeing that is what really kind of, because my initial thought process, not Cal version of Mendoza, but the Indiana version was, well, damn, everything is RPO. Everything is RPO. This is not quarterbacking. This is not. But then I was like, you know what? What's he doing well within that? Right? Ball placement, accuracy, pinpoint. You know what I'm saying? Making the right decision consistently. You know what I mean? These are all things that you check that box, check that box, check that box. All right. Gets into the red zone. Oh, wow. He's terrific in the red zone. Right. Throwing the ball with anticipation, throwing the ball with touch, being able to thread the needle. Okay. All right. Okay. What about pushing the football down the field? I saw some deep throws back up on him a little bit. Mechanics that can be cleaned up. Right. But that opposite hash hole shot, 40 yards down the field, oh my goodness.
Drop it in the bucket.
So where was this? I did not see this on the Cal tape. I didn't see it, bro. Like I said, okay, all right. So now we're making all the NFL throws. We're making all the NFL throws now. All right, so when he's out front, when he's the front runner, it looks phenomenal. Can't take that away from him. What happens when it's a little messy, when there's trash around his feet, right? When he's playing from behind, what happens then? He keeps showing up, bro. He keeps answering the bell. So I'm good with Mendoza. We could potentially move Mendoza higher, but for the purposes of this initial update, I'm going to slide Mendoza in here at 16.
Okay.
As our top cornerback in the class. I would be hard pressed to see him fall out of that spot. I mean, currently, where do we have him? He's got to be maybe in the top 50. Maybe in the top 50. Yeah, I don't even see his name here, bro. He's somewhere here.
Yeah, he's in there somewhere.
Yeah, we definitely got to put some respect on Fernando Mendoza's name. Definitely. Okay. So I've replaced TJ Parker with Mendoza.
Mm-hmm.
Are we good with Terrell at 17? Does he need to move down a bit further?
Question is who's gonna go in his spot? My thoughts are thinking about Carnell Tate. I don't want him to fall too far, bro.
I'm with that. I'm with that. I don't. I'm not mad at that at all.
Let's go Carnell Tate next up, the
Okay.
next receiver up. Was that 17?
I think we have Tate. Just where is Tate? Let me see where we had him. Entirely too low. Yep, 39. Definitely too
Yep.
low. So let's move Tate up. Well, we currently have Terrell, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right, so we're moving the pair of Clemson Tigers down. And bro, what happened to them, bro? I know we've talked about it, but like seriously, what happened to Clemson?
Defensively, bro, you can't keep putting the defense on the team on the field, and offensively,
Bad
but I think
situation.
it's a bad situation. It's easy to, especially in college football, when you're supposed to be this vaunted team, and everybody's, you guys are supposed to, your quarterback in particular is supposed to take that next step. You're supposed to be the ACC champ, supposed to be you and Miami at the end when it comes down to it, and y'all couldn't get out of your own way. You start too slow, then you give the other team confidence, and then it's a dogfight at the end, and it's whoever makes either the last play or the last mistake, right?
Mm.
And you
Hmm.
rinse and repeat that every week, bro. Every week, didn't matter who the opponent was. Every week. Now you might have ended up beating some teams because the talent finally busts through. You know what I'm saying?
Sure.
Like the
Sure.
Stone Cold Glass song coming through. But there are teams that if they have enough confidence or you are playing a better team, you're gonna lose,
Hmm.
bro. That's
Yeah.
just what it was. So
Yeah.
Dabo need to figure out. He's got to adjust some things. Got to make some changes. He's gonna end up like Billy Napier if he don't get it together soon.
Mm. Mm.
So
Listen, it's hard. It's hard to argue with those salient points. It really is. Okay. Um, I got Carnell Tate currently at 17, Sadiq at 18. I think we're good there.
Mhm.
19, you still rocking with Jacoby Lane at 19.
No, we got to move him down. He made some hay this season. He ended up with 49 catches, 4 touchdowns. I think he missed some time.
Yeah, he
Um,
was hurt. He was hurt this year.
and
Definitely
yeah,
hurt.
and I thought it was gonna be him in the Lemon Show, bro, and it
It
was
was
just the
it was
Lemon
the
Show,
it
bro.
was just the lemon show. It was just the lemon show.
So
It's Lemon's world and everybody else is in it. Okay, so we're gonna move
yeah,
Jacoby Lane down. I do need to remove Sadiq from 21 because we already have him represented at 18. So who are you moving into this 19 spot?
I'm thinking about CJ Allen. I can't forget about if we're gonna talk linebackers, you can't
I'm
forget
I'm
about Sonny
I'm
Styles. But
I'm okay with
CJ
CJ
Allen,
Allen.
he
Hmm.
made some moves. He made some hay. He was, for me, I know you were higher on him than I was because I was always waiting. For me, it was more. I need you to react. I need you to see it, go get it a little bit more. And he was that for pretty much the entire season, bro. And if you look at
Yeah.
the numbers, he's got a couple more forced fumbles. He's got a couple more sacks. Like it kind of materialized. So I think he's
Mm,
checked the boxes that I've asked him to check.
okay. So CJ Allen at 19. Currently, we have Danny Dennis Sutton at 20. Terrell Parker currently available as well. We've moved them out of their spots, their corresponding spots, and Jacoby Lane as well.
Yeah.
He's without a home currently in our rankings.
Um.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
you know what? One of the questions I want to ask you, Amari Washington. How do you feel about him versus our guy from last year at
Sorry,
Oregon?
Washington. The name sounds familiar, bro, but it's not.
Okay, that's okay. That's okay.
Like, kind of
That means he's more on the fringe of the first round than
third.
for our current rankings. That's all right. That's all right. But you definitely want to check out Washington. Considering the players that Oregon put in the league in terms of interior defensive linemen last year, I'm
Yeah,
interested to hear your thoughts
yeah.
about where you have
Okay.
Washington in that group. Okay, that's cool. Let's get back to Danny Dennis Sutton. Who do we think should be in this 20 spot?
All right.
Do we go Sunny Styles too soon?
No,
Maybe a little further down.
So let me see. Can we go? Hmm. So
I see
Sunny
Denzel Boston
Style,
getting a lot more love too.
he is. They talking about him. I'm still thinking about Caleb Banks, kind of out of sight, out of
Hey
mind.
man, listen. I
Um,
love you know how I feel about Caleb Banks, bro. You know
yeah.
how from a talent perspective,
Let's.
I think injuries might hurt him though at the end of the day.
Yeah, I think you might be right. I think you might be right. Well, you know, what, we'll slide him into the top 20. We'll get him in the top 25. We'll get him in the top
Okay.
25.
All right. Let me move him up now then. While he's fresh in my
Yeah.
mind, I'll move Caleb Banks up. I think we're just gonna do our top 32 this evening.
I would say,
Let's see.
so we have a Parker to slide in,
23.
a Styles to slide in, um,
Terrell.
Terrell to slide in,
Mm-hmm.
and I think we owe it to Caden Proctor to make sure he's in there as well.
Caden Proctor's currently sitting at 24. And
Is it
I
24?
feel relatively comfortable with that, unless you
With him?
feel
Okay, we live there. No, we can leave him
yeah.
there. We leave him there. Uh, I'm looking. I don't know if you've seen him. Caden McDonald for Ohio State I think
Yeah,
he's
he's getting a lot of love.
interior, if I'm not mistaken.
He is interior. He is interior.
Interior.
Yeah. Yep.
All
So
right.
are we moving Danny Dennis Sutton down? Are we moving him down?
Oh yeah, my bad. Yeah, we're moving down.
Okay. Let me move him down. I'm gonna replace Arch, who's currently at 27. What were we thinking?
Mm-hmm. Trying to, we was on the hype
For
train with him,
now.
bro.
Yeah,
Thought he
we
was gonna
were.
check the box, man. He's a Manning, bro. He was supposed to just automatically check the box.
Yeah, he was supposed to be that guy, huh?
Yeah, man.
Supposedly.
It's supposedly terrible, bro.
Supposedly.
That was gross.
Let's see what I got going on here.
Bro, I had a question for you, and I can't remember what my question was.
All right.
Damn, I should have wrote it down, bro. Let me look at this. No, it don't make no difference. Oh, so this is one of my questions. So, how you feel about the Chiefs right now? You feel good, bro? Feel good that them boys?
So it's interesting. It's interesting, right? So the 1 year that I'm like, yo, the 1 year I'm like, Chiefs going back to the championship. They tend to have the struggles, but you know, I knew it, but I didn't know that corresponding stat about their record in one score games. The the ball is shaped funny, bro.
Hmm?
That oblong pigskin is a very funny shape. It bounces weird. Bro, to go 12-0 in one score games is
That's crazy.
insane.
That's crazy. Bro.
It's insane. They're just on the other end of the spectrum this year. Because the NFL is a one score league, generally speaking. Most games come down to the final few minutes.
Yep.
Most games do. Even among bad football teams, most games come down to a player or two here, who touches the ball last, who gets a timely defensive stop. That's really what games generally come down to. And they just kind of regress to the mean with respect to that. And they have areas that need attention. I think people are talking about, Andy Reid maybe a lost it. Don't get ahead of yourselves.
What?
No, don't. Yeah, people are already. Yeah, yeah. It's already happening. It's already happening. I think the like I said, I think the law of averages have kind of finally corrected themselves for one, and
Finally.
then teams know how to attack Kansas City. They know how to attack Kansas City, right? I think despite the fact that Xavier Worthy is a blur and you got, Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice obviously being the focal point of their passing game, Tyreek Hill was a different animal. Tyreek
Yeah.
Hill was a different animal. And the fact that they were able to have as much success as they did after Tyreek Hill left is really impressive. It's really impressive. But you can see that they just do not scare anybody anymore offensively. It isn't to say that they can't move the football and Patrick Mahomes doesn't go out there and make some head scratching plays. And when I say head scratching, I'm like, well, how the hell did he manage that? You know what I'm saying? That's what I mean by that. But
Right.
the fact that they let Joe Tooney go, that wasn't a
Yeah,
great
that's
move.
huge, bro. Yeah, that was huge.
Offensive line, I think both the offensive line and defensive lines aren't as good as they've been as well. And that is definitely rearing its ugly head. Defensively, they had these DBs, these late day 3 picks playing at a high level because of the way they were able to control the line of scrimmage, and you know your boy, the defensive coordinator, dialing up the blitz, and everything was working. Your boy McDuffie isn't playing particularly well.
Mm-hmm.
A couple years removed
That's
from having his guy Sneed on the other side of him, bro. He's not playing at that upper echelon level. Like, teams are going after him. Not scared of him, bro. Right? So you don't have your top defensive back playing at that all pro level. You're not affecting the quarterback like you once did. You're not controlling the line of scrimmage that you previously did. Like, yeah, they are effectively a middle of the road team who can absolutely beat anybody. Any given Sunday, they can beat anybody.
anybody.
And any given Sunday, they can lose to anybody. That's what a middle of the road team is.
Yeah.
So I thought they managed to draft well, but I think they've had some injuries. I don't think all the rookies have been able to contribute. Um, there's some work to do in terms of their backfield. I've never been a huge Pacheco fan, but people love how hard he runs. He hasn't been the same since his injury. Kareem Hunt runs is physical as all hell, but he don't have the juice he once had. You know what I'm saying? So, Kelsey's old. Kelsey don't play with the same physicality or edge that he once did. He's crafty. He can still get open, make some plays, but like I said, this passing game goes to Rashee Rice. I think Xavier Worthy needs more touches. Personally, I think he needs to be more heavily involved in the passing game. Um, but yeah, they have. I really do think that they don't necessarily have the personnel defensively to run Spags defense at a high level. I think there's been some attrition there, roster turnover, and then the offensive line isn't where it needs to be. Just isn't. No, I'm enjoying it. To answer your question, I'm enjoying the fact that they aren't the toast of the town. I'm over it. Enough of
I,
the
I,
Chiefs. I'm glad.
I, I like to see the different teams get in. You know what I'm saying? Different teams battling, and
Yeah,
I don't know if they'll make it in. Maybe they'll make a push, and the Broncos will slip. I don't know, but I'm tired of the Chiefs, bro. I
yeah.
don't want no more Taylor Swift. I don't care about the Swifties and
You don't care about the
and
Swifties. What?
nah, bro. I don't care about the Swifties, bro. I don't care, bro. I don't care that she's in the box, bro. I don't care about none of that, bro. It's football, bro. Make me
It's
sick.
football. It's football.
It's-
We don't care about none of that.
We don't, bro. I do got now. I remember my question. I had to type it because I was like I forgot it like 6 times in a row. All right. So it was a couple of coaches. It was Vanderbilt coach, and I think it was two other coaches that I saw. Said, why don't we play week 13 while those cats are playing? the championship games, and they're most of them are kind of steadily in it in terms of the playoffs. Why don't Vanderbilt and Miami, or Notre Dame and a Vanderbilt, let's go play. Utah was in there too. Let's go play. Let's go play an extra game, bro.
Right,
What's your
right.
thoughts, bro? Let's just go play, bro. Vanderbilt said the coach said he told his players, be ready. We may not be able to practice to figure out what we're playing against, but just be ready to go play. Because that
I
team's 10
think
and 2, bro.
I think you can avoid a lot of this. It's not a perfect system. It won't be a
Right.
perfect system, but
There's always gonna be a team left out. That's just
yeah,
the way
they've made a mess of this though. The committee has made a mess of this whole college football playoff situation. It's too arbitrary from week to week, right? You establish your criteria, you vet that criteria, you establish your criteria, and you stick to it. And somebody might get screwed. Somebody might get screwed, but there's a common thread with respect to what you're evaluating on a consistent basis. It just vacillates from one week to the next.
yeah.
What matters, what's important changes from one week to the next. So there's just too much of a human element. It goes back to my point, and this, like I said, this is the reason why I was like, yeah, screw FSU, but also they won all their damn games, right? You cannot diminish what happens on the field. So the idea of coaches saying, well, let's just find out on the field.
Yeah.
It's an interesting concept. I think there's probably dollars and cents associated with that, ticket sales and TV rights and so on and so
Got to
forth.
pay the refs, get the refs in there.
Yeah, there's a lot of moving parts, but I think on its surface, I like the notion. Right, Miami, FSU, Miami, Notre Dame, play right now.
Yeah, just line up. Let's
play
go.
Again. Line it up. Line it up. When you talk about the NCAA tournament, if I'm not basketball tournament, if I'm not mistaken, they do have play-in games for their tournament.
They do. Yep.
So it's not a novel concept, but I do think there's some red tape around that for sure.
Yeah. And it's follow the money.
Oh right? Yeah, always follow the money.
So
we
can't get that. If we can't get that money to go where it's supposed to go, where we want it to go, we can't do that. So.
Correct. All right.
Yeah.
Let's get back to this. I still got Danny Dennis Sutton sitting here at 20.
Okay.
Who do we think should? Let me just scroll down. Let me take a look at some of the names here. Lomu. I have seen Denzel Boston now in the first round. You mentioned Caden McDonald.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Ione is the guard from Penn State. He's getting a lot of love right now.
Romello we need to. Yeah. So I think Penn State guard got to go up. Boston got to go up. And you named there was one more. I saw a name. Let's see, bro. Iona. Is it Iona? So you say Iona?
I think it's Iona.
Iona.
Or Ione. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, you know how we do it.
Yep, we gotta butcher it. Let's get Terrell and Parker situated. Unless you feel like they shouldn't be.
No. Let's get them
situated, and then we'll talk about those players. So at 20, I'm gonna go with my guy Terrell at 20. Let's go Avian Terrell here at 20. And then
seems always be able to get his hand on the football. And they go with Parker at 21.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking for now. Okay. Just to get that solidified. Parker has played a little bit better as of late. I just don't think he's the upper echelon. Clearly, he's not the upper echelon prospect that people thought he was. Right. There was a bit of a hive as him being the top 3, perhaps even the best or top player in the class. He's not that player. Just not.
I tried to tell people, but they didn't want to listen to me, dog.
They didn't want to hear what you had to say.
No, they just kept talking about Parker.
It'd be like that sometimes, man.
I would say put Boston. I would put Boston in next
at 22.
Yeah, 22.
There you go, Mrs.
And
C.
then,
Got you a husky in here.
and then we can go Caden McDonald next.
Okay.
I
I
think.
got Banks there. You like McDonald over Banks?
Oh, no. Come on, man. We're not doing that. Man, can't do that.
I currently have Banks at 23. But you know, if you wanna go with Caden McDonald, you can. It's your
No,
call.
we can put one after the other, though. No.
Okay. All right,
Banks,
I'm gonna move
Banks
Deontay
first.
Lawson down. I'll move Deontay Lawson down, who's currently at 25. I'll put Proctor there,
Okay.
and then we'll work Caden McDonald in here at 24. Okay. State. We good with Kristen Miller at 26? Or do we want to go Penn State interior O-line?
Oh, and yeah, Penn State interior.
Okay. So let me go. I'm just going to move Kristen Miller down one for now. There's Kristen Miller, and then our guy here at Penn State. Yeah, it's gonna take a little while for me to get that pronunciation. Not gonna lie. Penn State interior line. Get the spelling correct.
I want to lock Jamad McCoy at 32. I want to leave him in the first round.
Oh, okay. Well, currently I got him at I think 14 right now.
Okay, I just want to make sure he was in there, bro. I'm good with that.
Yeah, he's in there. I got a thought. Maybe his teammate Colton Hood. I know he's getting a lot of love right now. You want to slide him in at 32?
Yeah.
Because currently I have Delane. I have Mansour Delane, but of course we moved him up as well. So I'll put Colton Hood there just as a placeholder for now. Like I said, this is subject to change again several times over the next couple of months. But okay, we got Iona 26, Kristen Miller at 27, Lomu at 28. Then we go Dominique Orange, Michael Taft, Chandler Rivers. I got a few names just to run by you. Rebello Heights, Casey Conception, R. Mason Thomas, Joshua Joseph, the aforementioned Amari Washington, who I think I would take Washington over Big Citrus right now.
He's just more of a playmaker. Not more of a playmaker.
Yeah,
more consistent. I think so. Can do a little bit more for you.
I think so.
There's some limitations with Orange. I get it. I would be okay with that. You said Concepcion, and who was the player before Concepcion? It was Romello Height.
Yeah.
Let's get
you got Isaiah World, Isaiah World as well. Not sure how you feel about him as a top 32 player.
Give me. He probably right outside of that. Give me Height in there.
Okay, so let's go Romello at 29. Do Romello at 29. Romello Heights. Texas Tech. Making some noise. Yeah, Romello got those traits, bro. That
wingspan, bro.
Oh man, pterodactyl. All right, so Romello Height at 29.
This is a guy I'm not familiar with. Brandon Sis.
Neither am I. That's one I'll definitely have to.
That's somebody that got the key on for sure.
Yeah, out of South Carolina.
them boys always have a corner or two over there.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
a little bit of a pipeline
So at
there.
30, I'll go with my guy Washington right here. I think I'm
Okay,
gonna do it.
30.
I'm just
All
gonna call
right.
make a call there on Amari Washington.
And then can I get R. Mason Thomas at
Yes, I'm good with
31?
that for sure. For sure.
Lock them boys in.
Lock that in. All right. Oregon. And then I think that will do it for now. I think that'll
Yeah.
take us to 32. Once I get our Mason Thomas in here. Thomas, Oklahoma Edge.
Man, these quarterbacks are falling, bro. And I know we were talking about do we have Ty Simpson in there? Did we slide it? Did we get him in
No. Maybe we need to take a step back because I personally would have Dante Moore over Ty Simpson. So I'm not opposed to having Ty Simpson in the top 32, but I definitely would have Dante Moore over him.
In my mind, we had put them both in there already. So
yeah, they're not there yet. So
they're not there yet. All right.
First player out. Let's call it Colton Hood. So at 32, we can go Ty Simpson.
Okay.
I would want to get Dante Moore in here. It's a question about who we would take out at this point.
So who's the last?
The next person would be R. Mason Thomas, but who do you prefer, Romello Height or R. Mason Thomas? Or you know what? I'm not opposed. I'm not opposed to putting more in where Washington is, and just have Washington be like 33.
Okay, let's do that.
Have him as a 33rd player. That works for me. Okay, let's do that.
Let's do that.
Yeah, we had Antonio Williams there. So there's Washington, and then we go Dante Moore right here.
And we don't have to worry about Ty Simpson currently.
Yeah. Ty Simpson is in at 32. We got him in at 32. So
okay, all right, there you go.
We're good. We're good. We got the three quarterbacks in the top 32.
And I think one of the reasons why Ty Simpson will come on, I don't know if he's eligible. I think it's his fourth year, so I don't know if he. I guess
no, he's definitely eligible to return to school. He's definitely eligible. Yeah.
I just think he probably comes out because it is those three, bro. You know what I'm saying? Everybody else either got hurt or just playing like poo poo or
you know
what I'm saying? Or those guys have more can benefit from staying in school. You're talking about Lenore Sellers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and I think Nussmeier will be the only one that actually is going to have to come out, and Drew Aller's probably going to be able to get medical red shirt. So
yeah, Nussmeier pooped the bed, bro. He definitely pooped the bed.
Well, what did we say, bro? What the hell he said? Dr. Jekyll, Dr. Hyde, Mr. Jekyll, bro.
Yeah, Dr. Hyde, Mr. Jekyll. Yeah. All right, let's take a quick look at 32. Before we do, let's answer Mr. C's question here. Will Lee first round in the top 50? I would say top 50 to top 75.
Yeah, he don't make it in there. He shouldn't.
Yeah. That size 60. That size is going to be war. The teams will covet his size on that corner. I know we're gonna go through this top 32, but before I forget to ask, man, do you think New England has the staying power, bro? Are they the favorites in the AFC in your mind?
In the AFC,
because it doesn't seem like anybody else wants it. Doesn't seem like anybody else wants it, bro.
I thought the Bills had a shot, but they can't stop the run.
Drake May's your guy, bro. I know Drake May is your guy.
Yeah, and the thing about it is Drake May, but it's their coach, bro. Like he has this new age, like, and he's really, really smart. He knows the rule book, bro. He knows how to play it, bro. Like he's thinking differently than other coaches. Yes,
physical, bro. Yeah, coaching matters, bro. And I, as it pertains to variable, I'm gonna let you finish your point. I just wanted to say, it just a swing and the miss by Tennessee, bro. What were you thinking, bro?
The problem is they want to give him the keys, bro.
Bro.
They wanted the GM they wanted the GM and the coach to be separate. That's not how that works, bro. That's not how that ever works, bro.
Listen,
right? Ask Jerry. Ask Jerry. Okay.
listen. I know Derrick Henry's a bad boy, right? Special Hall of Famer. I know, bro.
Right.
I know. This man got to an AFC championship with Ryan Tannehill as his quarterback, bro. Like that gotta count for something, bro. It's gotta count for something.
Yeah.
It has to, bro. I was having this conversation with my dad recently. You know, we were talking some football, talking fantasy, whatever the case may be. I was having this conversation with him, and I told him, I said, you know, we were talking about Vrabel, right? We were talking about how this team is just responding to Vrabel, and Vrabel's pushing all the right buttons, got them playing at a high level ahead of schedule. It's soured in Tennessee for the reason you mentioned, and I think the seminal moment associated with that, I think the what broke the camel's back was when they traded away AJ Brown. Vrabel did not want that trade at
Oh, he
all.
was hot, bro. He's hot.
Trade AJ Brown because you don't want to pay him to draft Traylon Burks, whom you know has dealt with injuries and is no longer a member of the Titans.
Now you eating crow, and you out there getting
Yes.
Cam killed. And Cam is going through what it's Bryce Young all over again over there, bro. That's what that is over there, bro.
Okay. Well, yeah. It definitely. Pats fans, Pats fans got to be excited, right? To go from Brady, you know, a few years of some you know trials and tribulations, and now you seemingly have struck gold with Drake May, and you've gotten you know a Belichick disciple who, like I said, is pushing all of the right buttons,
Yeah,
man.
all
Of the right buttons. I think Vrabel's a terrific coach, bro. Paid his dues, right? He was the defensive coordinator, I believe, at Houston. He went to Ohio State. He lands in Tennessee. Again, shepherds a team with Ryan Tannehill at quarterback to an AFC Championship game, you know, and you then decide to get rid of all of his good players.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And here he now lands, you know, on his feet and hits the ground running in New England. So poetic
And
justice.
it's you know, a lot of coaches become players, but he seems to
Or
have a
players become
connection.
coaches.
Yeah, players
Yes.
become coaches. Excuse me.
Yeah. No,
He
they play
seems
for
to have
him.
he has a really good connection. He has an understanding of like I'm your coach, but I played the game, and so you know I'm able to relate to you. You know what I'm saying, in a way
Oh
that you
yeah.
can understand, right? And so I think that's why things are going as fast as they're going is because of that. Because if I'm just a coach, there's a level that I can't reach that Vrabel's able to reach because he was a player, bro. Right? So
Right. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something to it. I think it could potentially backfire at times. I don't know that former players always make good coaches.
Oh, 100%.
So you know, while it is a kind of a unique perspective that he has, there's something to be said about him being able to navigate, you know, the waters as a head coach. You know, he's now had 2 stops where he's had a lot of success. Obviously, I mentioned with the Titans, but he's got this young Patriots team, bro, playing above their heads, bro,
They are,
and
bro.
confidence, bro, confidence. What jumps out at me is one, Drake May's development, and just the sheer physicality of the
Yeah, bro.
Patriots. They
Yep.
are a physical bunch, both sides of the ball, and we were like, okay, well, who's Drake May going to throw the football to? Here comes Keyshawn Boutte. Here come
Yep.
Kyle Williams starting to get more involved. Guys are
Mm-hmm.
making plays. Like and you know, obviously they bring in. Here I am thinking, all right, Diggs is washed. Nope, new life, new life. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? Bringing that veteran presence to that young receiver room. I think all the receivers are benefiting from having Diggs in that room.
100%, bro.
You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a perfect blend of youth and veteran, and it's impressive. It's impressive. All right, let's run through this top 32 here. Made the seismic change of moving Bane from 2 to 1 and Downs from 1 to 2.
Right.
showing Arvell Reese the respect he deserves, and of course, we have remained bullish on David Bailey. Everybody else, you got some work to do to catch up. But again, I think conference championships, I think playoffs. I think we're going to be having a very different conversation regarding David Bailey soon. I need to get a video out on him. My Mendoza videos are still like in the drafts, bro. It's been
just chilling.
Just chill. Just chill. Peter Woods, Spencer Fano, Jeremiah Love, Jordan Tyson, Mekhi Lemon. Drew said he pounded the table. I need both of those receivers in the top 10. Make it happen. All right. And Drew, looking at them in the top 10, I like it. I like it. It looks good to me. Francis Mauinoe rounds out the top 10. Cassius Howell, another early call here from the second half draft show. Couch Potato General Manager, Headley Special, doing his thing. He's 11th overall. Kildrick Falk, Anthony Hill Jr. I've seen Hill Jr. dropped substantially lower than this.
I have.
I don't know that I agree with the seismic, like he just fell off the face of the earth. But there's a possibility we move Hill down a little bit further before it's all said and done. Jamad McCoy, we remain bullish on him despite the fact that he's missed this season due to injury. Mansur Delane. Fernando Mendoza. I talked about him earlier, how impressed I am with him. How I had to look at Mendoza, evaluate him through the proper prism to really appreciate him. And I know it sounds like I'm patting myself on the back. I'm glad that I've finally gotten on board, because I was not. I was not on board. But I think he's certainly deserving and could potentially move up further on our list. You mentioned making sure we get Carnell Tate in there. I think this is a good spot for him. I think anywhere from like 14 to 20 is a solid spot for Carnell Tate. Kenyon Sadiq could very well be higher, but again, top 20. CJ Allen's my guy. Avian Terrell is my guy. I'm going to give TJ Parker some respect, but obviously we've never had him as, a top 5 player in this class. Denzel Boston, another player I think we were generally higher on than the consensus. Not first round high on, but or was he? Did you have Denzel Boston in the first round?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. Just wanted to be certain. I know we had him and Carnell Tate very close, but neither one were in the first round previously. Caleb Banks. The talent is just overwhelming, bro. Just got to stay healthy. Just got to stay healthy. Caden McDonald, that reminds me. We did not get Sonny Styles in here.
Oh, I thought we had him in there.
No, we don't. We do not have him in the top 32. I'll put him right here at 32. That's just me.
Yeah.
I'm a little lower on Simpson.
Yeah,
should he be higher?
He's probably a little higher, but we can slide him in at 32 for now.
Well, where would you put Lomu?
Lomu.
Do you think Lomu should be ahead of any of these players here that you see, these names here?
For now, yeah, I'm okay with that.
Okay. All right. Let me get Sonny Styles in here, and then I think at that point we will call it this evening. Yes, Mr. C. It's you. It wasn't us. It was you. It was you, Mr. C.
Yeah, you've been talking Boston. But Boston isn't so when you talk about those receivers we talked about, you talk about Tyson, you talk about Lemon, you talk about Tate. There's a little bit of sexy, a little bit of flash from those guys, right?
Yeah,
Tate's got the size. He's the prototypical outside receiver. Got some speed, can play the slot. You can actually move him around. But Tyson and Lemon seem to just be where they're supposed to be, catch the football, and make things happen after the ball's in their hands. And Boston is just old, reliable. Mm-hmm. Hey, Boston, man, it's 3rd and 8, bro. I'll get you 9.5, 10. You know what I mean?
Right.
He's that annoying player. Like, man, come on, bro. Like, how you get open, man?
Yeah.
He don't move super fast. He knows the angles. He knows how to play. He knows how to run routes, bro. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but the name of the game at receiver is catch the football and get open, bro. And
make plays.
Block on occasion. That's it.
Yeah, make plays. And he does that, no question about it. All right. My changes haven't taken effect just yet. Let's try it again.
Okay. Reapply.
Yeah, hard refresh. Hard refresh. All right.
Amen.
There we go.
Yep,
There you
getting
go.
there. All right.
Okay.
Yep.
I think this has been a rather productive session here in terms of right sizing the rankings. I know the thumbnail suggested 50, but we're not going to get quite there. I think we certainly covered a lot of other areas around the
Mhm.
football landscape. I got one more question for you, Drew, before we go. One last question for you. What do you do with Kyler Murray, bro? What do you do with him? You start him next year? I think you have to.
So,
I think you have to, bro.
well, he's got that
Honestly.
crazy contract, don't
Yes, yes. But
he?
after 2026, I think we're talking maybe 7.5 million worth of dead cap. I think if you were to let him go this offseason, you're gonna probably have about $50 million worth of dead cap.
But if you let him
And
go, are you saying Brissett? We gonna run Brissett out there? Like, what do we?
well, I don't know. I don't know.
You
What
know
are
what
you
I
gonna
mean?
do at
Like,
quarterback? Yeah.
no,
Trade
I
him
think
to
you're right.
Miami?
You run him out there one more time, and then we have if he's the guy we think he is in that next year, okay, takes us to the playoffs and makes a run. All right, he's the quarterback of the future. But outside of that, if that doesn't happen, we hit the reset button, bro, on the
Yeah.
quarterback position. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. I think I'm gonna call it what it is. I think Kyler Murray is a phenomenal athlete. I do think his height creates an inherent challenge for him, right? In terms of
agree.
what you can do with respect to your offense. I think his height is a detractor. Um, and then of course there have always been question marks in terms of his level of focus, attention to detail, drive as it relates to really honing in on his craft. Has he just been kind of getting by on his talent more so than anything else? I just think it's untenable. I think it's untenable to move him. Do I think perhaps that coach in Miami, Mr. C, could figure out how to best leverage him? Probably, but he has a particular system that is predicated on at times being under center, turning your back to the defense. You can't
Yep.
really do that with Kyler Murray.
Oh,
You can't. You know what I'm saying? The timing that Tua is expected to play with. Kyler Murray doesn't play with that kind of timing. You know what I'm saying? I think you have to kind of formulate your offense around Murray's skill set and account for the fact that he's height is an impediment, right? In terms of being able to see the field effectively. You know what I'm saying? You gotta move the pocket, right, on a consistent basis. You gotta, you know what I'm saying? The way you actually construct your roster is very much impacted based on Kyler Murray. So I don't say any of this to suggest that he isn't a talent. He's a phenomenal talent, right? In order to not have a particular height and deal with that challenge and still be able to make plays at the rate that he does is truly phenomenal. But
yep.
all those factors, and then you start talking about the price tag associated with it. I think he will go into next season as a presumed starter. I think it'll be a short leash, and I don't expect him back in Arizona in 2027 unless they catch lightning in the bottle and or the switch is flipped. I just don't see it happening. I think after the 2026 season, his contract as far as guaranteed money is pretty much done. So they can move off of him at that point. Where he goes from there, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm not convinced that Kyler Murray is the long term answer anymore.
I got two players for you, bro.
Hmm.
Okay. One guy you was well, actually, both of these guys you kind of poo pooed, but one guy kind of had a resurgence last year. Then he goes over to a different team, and he's lighting it up even more, bro. And that's Sam Darnold, bro. What you
I think Sam Darnold certainly had the benefits of getting quality coaching and is a solid starter, right? And at times an above, a Pro Bowl caliber starter. I think he also has fits of seeing ghosts. You know what I'm saying?
Be dead
So
every once in a while, bro.
so he certainly can't be considered a bust anymore, right? It didn't
Right.
work out in New York. It generally doesn't work out in New York. It didn't, you know what I'm saying? The
Yeah.
stop in Carolina, he grew from that. The time in did he have a stop in San Francisco? I can't recall.
I
But
don't
at
think
any
so.
rate, the time that he spent in Minnesota getting quality coaching, rehabilitating his confidence, obviously has done a world of wonders for him. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I'm sure Justin Jefferson would love to have Sam Darnold right now. You know what I'm saying? So, you
Mhm.
know, I think where these quarterbacks go at times impacts them. I had my concerns. I had my concerns, and initially they played out kind of how I expected it to play out. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? But he found himself in a better situation, and this is how I feel, Mr. C. I think you hit the nail on the head. Sam is good, not great. You can't, he's good, not great. You know what I'm saying? He can get hot and he can look really good.
Look
You,
crazy. Yeah.
you might confuse it with great. You might actually confuse it with great, but he's not great. He's not great.
Yeah.
No.
All right.
But,
Keon
but yeah,
Coleman, bro.
Keon.
Yeah, bro. We talked about it, did we?
Yeah, yeah. I the name of the game is separation. At the end of the day,
Right.
that's the name of the game. Name of the game is separation, and then apparently, and I didn't necessarily factor this into my estimation associated with Keon Coleman is there's maturity concerns. There's I think there's a certain level of that. They need him. They need him to be that guy, bro.
Yeah. Yep.
But
I
Buffalo,
do.
Buffalo, anything less than a Super Bowl appearance is a abject failure
Yep.
for the Buffalo Bills. You know what I'm saying? So, maybe that being deactivated, lit a fire under him. Maybe he's taking things more seriously. But yeah, Keon Coleman, I think there's some things that he does well. To be that guy, to me he does not demonstrate the ability to consistently get open. And the thing that he's supposed to be really great at the catch point, he's been kind of
Yeah.
a little
I,
underwhelming.
I think sometimes, because we were saying, we don't think he's a first. We never thought he was the first round pick. He kind of made some, couple of games in a row where he just kind of lit it up.
Mhm.
I think him being a first round pick hurts him. I think if he was a third round pick, he's probably the player we think he can be versus being a first round pick where you have all these things. And again, him being that first round pick and the maturity things
Mhm.
is because he kind of goofy. It's kind of funny, you know what I mean? But when it's time, when the bullets start flying and things get real, like I need you to, you can be
It's
goofy
all
and
cool.
good, bro.
You could
Yeah,
exactly,
yeah. You know what I
exactly.
mean?
You could be goofy, but you got to be good too.
Yeah, yeah,
That shit
yeah.
ain't cute, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're not balling, if you're not getting the job
100%.
done, it's not cute, bro.
No,
It's not cute. Right?
it wears on people, and now I'm looking at you
Yeah,
sideways, right? You know what I mean?
exactly,
So,
bro.
all right, I got one more, bro. Did you see
Okay.
Pickens, bro? Pickens, bro. Did,
Oh
did you
yeah,
see
I see.
Pickens with the? I just look at him,
Majay
bro, and
boy.
I just be like, I remember when we was like, damn, what's that? Everybody said these red flags about Pickens, and then you just see it kind of play out on the field, and you like,
He's got a
what
screw
what
loose, bro.
what is
He
going
he's
on, bro?
he's so talented, bro.
Bro,
So talented, bro. But he's got a screw loose. And that's exactly why Jerry traded for him, bro. Those are the type of players Jerry loves, bro.
listen,
Like
I think
I
sometimes those the things that make people great are it's like a double-edged sword, bro. It's
yes.
what makes me
Yes.
great, but it's also what you like, man,
Yes.
what
It's
are
what
we
holds
doing?
them back. It's what holds them back as well. Absolutely. And the thing about it is that best case scenario Pickens gets franchise tag because you can't reward him with a long term contract. You can't,
No,
bro.
it's a
You
wrap, bro. It's a
can't
wrap.
do it, bro. He don't.
Can't
He
trust him.
just don't.
Can't trust him, bro.
Can't
Can't trust
trust
him.
them, bro. And you know, Dallas certainly with their loss last night, their playoff hopes are slim.
Yeah.
But CD ended up with a concussion. He was having a great game. He ended up with a concussion.
Oh
So they need
man.
Pickens. They need Pickens
Yeah, no
dialed in.
choice. Yeah. Yeah.
They need him. They need him absolutely dialed in. And you know, you just wonder what version of him are you going to get? Not necessarily in terms of his play, but mentally,
Well, mental,
focus
like who's
level.
showing up, bro?
Like
Who am
who's
I
showing
talking
up?
to right now? You,
Who's
you ever
showing up,
seen
bro?
you seen Primal Fear, bro?
Yes, I
Where
have.
Edward Norton at the end, bro, and he hit you
Yes,
with the, you know what I'm saying?
yes.
Like, who am I talking to right now?
Fight Club with Edward Norton, bro.
There you
Fight
go, bro.
Club with it.
Tyler Durden. You know what I'm
Tyler
saying?
Durden, bro.
Yo,
Who are we talking to right now?
guess we'll find out.
Oh man,
Yo.
that's a bad. Listen, I'm gonna tell you, Mr. C. Oh, you know, you were talking about Gino. Man, look, Gino is playing terribly. Gino has stunk this year. But that
Ooh.
offensive line, though, bro. Oh my goodness. Oh my
Compounding
goodness. Like
decline, bro.
if you can't create a little something for Genty, you got a problem, bro. They got to fix. I thought, and this is gonna go back. You know what? We the elephant in the room. Shador finally got his opportunity,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm watching the last game. You know, I got the red zone going while I'm at the game. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to see it all. And just some of the decisions, the coaching decisions going forward in the 4th and 1 at the 30 with your defense playing like that, when you know you got issues on your offensive line, at receiver. Like, I think we've talked about it. We've talked about it previously, you know, and I think it's fairly clear that GM, certainly the head coach, not necessarily the biggest fans of Shador. I think the coach will be out at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving Shador a shot. I'm giving Shador a shot. I'm
Give him
gonna.
a full
I'm just
off
gonna.
season, bro.
Yeah, I'm gonna give him a full off season. I'm gonna stack this roster with more talent. I'm gonna protect him. I'm gonna get him some weapons. Right. I think the only thing I got a little mock draft working. I think the only thing I might do is because I got those 2 first-round picks. If Bain falls to me, I want Bain opposite Myles Garrett. I'm trying to see it. I'm trying to see it. But otherwise, I'll prioritize a Spencer Funnel. You know what I'm saying? I'll grab a Jordan Tyson. I'll grab a Mekhi Lemon and then come back with the offensive lineman a bit later. You know, in that first round. Like it to me, it's about let's build this in, because if I'm not mistaken, everyone except for Dawan Jones maybe is a free agent on their starting offensive line.
Yeah, it's something
After this
crazy
year,
like that.
it's
Yeah,
something
I remember
crazy.
hearing something like that. Yeah,
And it's bad, and the group is bad. You know, the decent players are banged up, and the reserves aren't very good. So, but yeah, it just some bad coaching, bad decisions, putting yourself in compromising positions when, again, that defense is playing at a very high level. Myles Garrett is insane.
yeah, crazy. Yep.
He's insane, bro. Like,
Why did you stay, bro? Don't tell me about the money. I don't want to hear that. Though. Don't want to hear it, bro. I don't want to hear it. Him and Max Crosby, bro. Don't want to hear it.
hey man,
Listen.
hey man.
They said JSN on his way to the first 2,000-yard receiver, bro. They say he gonna catch.
You think he's gonna get it?
Calvin Johnson.
He might get it.
So I mean,
if
he
Darnold
got an extra game.
Listen, he does have an extra game. He's already on pace. He does have an extra game. Does he play that extra game? Right? Is it worth playing at that point?
Yeah.
And you know,
right.
like I said, is Darnold, who's been a bit shakier, you know, over the last month or so. He hasn't been as sharp over the last month. Does he get back on track? You know what I'm saying? And yeah, free Kenneth Walker, bro. What's that about? Free Kenneth Walker, man. It's clearly the superior back, and they just keep going to sharpening. Anyway, that's gonna do it. That's gonna do it for this evening. Excellent show. Plan to be back next week. We'll continue. Hopefully actually have some content out on our flagship channel, Couch Potato General Manager. Mock draft, as I mentioned, the film breakdown for Fernando Mendoza. There's some new prospects. You mentioned the corner from South Carolina, Drew, that we need to get a look at, and then report back on the second half draft show. All right. I shared you, Walker. I know how you feel. He's been more decisive this year, man. Come on, give him a break. Anywho, appreciate you, Mr. C. Prassi. Great show, Drew. You guys have a terrific weekend, and we'll catch you next time. Take care.